Good Sunday morning, Tri-State. This is the Charlie Butler Real Estate Show, and I'm still Charlie Butler. They haven't run me off yet. And to my, as he is every Sunday, to my left is David Crow, who is the regional director for Churchill Mortgage. Good morning, David.
Good morning, Charlie. Good morning, everyone.
And we've got a surprise guest we'll announce here. We'll talk about here in a minute. But and we're really excited about that. But then over in the corner, they made her sit in the corner as usual. Is the president of the Butler DeArmond Real Estate Network, which owns the Charlie Butler team, and that is Candace DeArmond. Good morning, Candace.
Good morning, Charlie. Good morning, David.
Good morning.
Surprise guest.
And we don't want to forget about our producer today, Bobby Gates.
Oh, good morning, Bobby.
But see,
hello, everyone.
Bobby used to be cool. Bobby was known as Bobby G. He's one of the big. It's Missy Mosby that's here. Good morning, Missy.
Good morning.
And but Missy, you remember Bobby G, don't you?
Bobby G.
I'm still Bobby G.
Well, you're Bobby Christmas now.
That's true.
Bobby's love of Christmas music has taken over his love of rock music.
I still love rock music. I would actually right about now I'd probably rather be playing rock music than all the Christmas music I'm playing.
Is there no rock Christmas music?
There's some rockish type stuff, yeah.
Yeah. Can you? I wonder if LaDon would let you play like some Christmas rap.
We have been known to play Run DMC, Christmas, and Hollis Queens.
Have you?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's about the only rap song that we can pull off during the Christmas season.
Well, I just knew your love of Christmas. I heard you started in mid-November. You like it so much.
November 19th, yes. That's when we started.
You could probably tell me the exact time even. Couldn't you?
6 a.m. That's when we officially became the Tri-State's Christmas music station.
You know, I'm trying to suck you into.
Hey, why don't you talk about this lady in the pretty yellow sweater?
I'm trying to suck you where LaDon will say, Bobby, why did you say it on the air? All right, but no, Bobby was actually the original producer of the Charlie Butler Show over 8 years ago, and we were in a different building. And how many years been here now, Bobby?
We moved in this building in August of 2017, 2018.
Something like that, yeah. So we've been here several
years.
Yeah, 6 to 7 years. And then Bobby, thinking the grass was greener on the other side, not realizing what a lucrative position this is. Yeah.
Hey, why don't we talk to your guest here, Charlie?
Okay. Yeah. It was so lucrative, Leslie Morgan was able to retire.
That's right. I'm working towards the Leslie Morgan plateau.
Well, you're not as pretty, Bobby. I'm sorry to tell you.
That's true.
But anyway, so, and of course, David is here. Candace, what's David going to talk to us about?
The rights.
There we go.
So, David, give us some good news.
Good news. Well, this week has been jobs. All the data rolling in. So the JOLTS report, ADP, BLS. Look at that alphabet soup there.
I know.
So it's just been all the jobs data coming through. So the ultimate effect at this moment is rates are stable. They've been stable. I wished I could say there was this big up or this big down, really. And it just hasn't came to fruition. So we're just kind of bouncing up one day, bouncing down the next day, and that's just kind of where rates are stable. I think nationwide, I know I'm a little better than that because I watch it. I think we're just under 7% nationwide. So if people are watching, TV or Googling or whatever, they're seeing those kind of numbers out there on a national for a 30-year mortgage.
Right.
And so I always tell people that that's kind of a little misnomer. It's not accurate. And sadly on those, that's where Freddie Mac reports that data. And Freddie will publicize an average interest rate, but Freddie does not show or disclose whether points were used to buy that rate down. They only see the closing interest rate, not what a borrower had to spend to get that rate. So par rates on some things, I know with lenders here locally, their par rates are well over 7%. Okay, and so, but I'm always blessed with being able to have a little lower rates than the open market. But this past week has all been jobs reports. And folks, what that
I didn't know I didn't have a lot of time to look, but I just saw the market was up like 250. The Dow was up like 250 this morning.
And we, and that's when I talk about the little ups or the downs. That's kind of what our market's been doing, up and down.
Right.
10-year Treasuries doing the same thing. Mortgage-backed securities are doing the same thing. We get
10-year Treasury was 4.2.
Just over
4.2 and change.
Yeah. So there's no big shift out there. So it really comes down that find the home you love, buy the home now, knowing as we go into 2025, rates are going to be lower. So you're going to look to refinance. And that's what, it's like we've been saying, sadly, for about 2 years, date the rate, marry the house. That holds so true because we all know in this industry, when we finally see that significant downturn in interest rates, it's going to pull so many borrowers into the market, so many buyers into the market. We are still left with not enough homes out there to meet the full demand. So we know at that point we're going to probably start seeing houses go for $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 above market price. And so get the home you love right now and then deal with the refinance down the road.
Yeah, and also, and again, we'll stay away from the political side of this, but with the tariffs, if that goes to, that is going to be tough on the builders.
There's no question. And so the question really comes, again, us not getting political,
right,
and not knowing, we only know what's in the media, and that's not always accurate.
Correct.
That part we can make a bold statement on. It's not always accurate. But it also gets, for those listening that have been in leadership, business situations, there's this thing called negotiations. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you have to negotiate from a position of power. And so sometimes things such as tariffs and so forth can be used from a negotiating standpoint. The only challenge we all have is we don't know where the real end point is. I'm talking about us commoners on the street.
Well, and one of the things I think that, as you're saying with negotiations, if he does, he's made everybody mad. He's the farmers, the home builders. He's made just about every sector it's going to affect. And I know businesses that are stocking up,
on product and so
product
forth.
that comes, like especially technology, tech business. I mean, I'm going to get a new phone for the end of the year. I am. I'm serious because it's because let's say most of the stuff comes from China. That's in our Apple phones.
Definitely, we saw that during COVID when it came to we'll just say chips as a whole.
Yeah.
Whether it was automobiles, cell phones, anything and everything with computer chips and the lack of supply that existed in 2020, 2021 post-COVID. So we really, and I utilize some of the best consultants. I call them gurus, the people that are in the trenches every day on some of this. And I'm looking to them for this guided wisdom, like what's really going on behind the curtain, what's really going to happen. And I can't get consistent answers from anyone.
No.
And these are the people that, I'm a lot smarter than me on these day-to-day issues when it comes to interest rates, mortgages, what's really going to happen. And Charlie, you bring up, there's going to be a transition of power come January 20th.
Yeah.
And so what will that really look like? I can tell you from our standpoint, in all seriousness, the thing that will ultimately cause a strong downturn in long-term interest rates, sadly, is going to have to come from an elevated unemployment rate. Mm-hmm. Unemployment, because now we're getting into a 12-month rolling average on inflationary data, that being we replace data month over month from 12 months ago. That data is already down. We can't get that replacement digits to get to the quote-unquote 2% inflation target that the Federal Reserve has. We can't get there with that.
Right.
The only thing that's going to drive interest rates down is the continued cut in the Federal Reserve rate, which is ultimately going to come from unemployment going to 4.3, 4.4, 4.5. Those numbers going up in unemployment will force the Federal Reserve to then push the interest rate down. And then, yes, you talk about tariffs and other political items, political footballs that are going on right now. I just know that long term we're going to see a downward trend on rates.
But then, you've got another situation here that if Warren Buffett keeps buying bonds the way he has been, he owns more than the Federal Reserve does right now.
Yeah. So a lot of things have been at play, and then you get into what China's been doing with their economy, what they've done in China to stimulate their economy, and I'm just keeping it broad, but ultimately that's putting pressure on other inflationary factors because of the amount of money they're injecting into their national economy. It's just such a massive world economy. And so, we've been met with headwinds. Let's be
like South Korea. Let's just have the whole parliament just kicking each other's butt.
God, that's been a crazy.
And that's not when they voted last night to impeach him.
Yes.
So
martial law, no martial law. It's it has not been a good picture for South Korea.
And Missy Mosby, who I have not introduced properly, city council person. You try to call you city councilwoman, city councilman. I don't think you really care.
You can just call me Missy.
Okay, but she is city council. Which ward, Mindy?
I am in the second ward.
The second ward. Long time. How many years now?
18 years.
I was going to say it's
yeah.
I didn't realize
I love it.
I know you do, and I know you love helping people. You always have.
Yes.
And Miss, I was going to flip this to Missy and Candace. Missy is a realtor with FC Tucker, and so what are you guys seeing? David's talking about the interest rates. I mean, the bottom line is, what are you guys seeing out there?
I don't know how things have been for you, but I've seen a little bit of a spike in the past month of buyers that are calling. I had a little bit of a slow time, then it kicked back in, and then it slowed down a little bit, and then the past few weeks it's been, the phones have been ringing a little bit more. So
I would agree with that, only because of the amount of quote unquote leads that we purchase and have. It is ticking up because, again, I think there was this thought nationwide that these rates were going to plummet quickly. It didn't happen. We have so much pent-up demand. And let's bring in the rental situation. Rents have done nothing in our local market but go up, up, up. Yeah. And so people are now looking at going, oh, my goodness, I'm paying this in rent. I have no equity. Yes. So I, too, am seeing pre-approval requests going up as people position themselves so that when the homes come on. So you saying you've seen an uptick in the last month or so, I completely agree with that statement. Yeah.
Missy, what have you seen?
And I agree too. And, let's face it, always around an election year, it gets really slow because people are scared. It doesn't matter who's running for president.
And it doesn't matter who wins or
no,
who,
it doesn't. It's just everybody, the fear and all of that going on. But I agree. In the last couple of weeks, I've had a lot more buyers come in and, want to start looking, and also a few more listings. So
good.
I think it's going to be a good end of the year and a good first quarter.
I'm hoping so.
And, people always say December is so slow, but I'm sure in David's business, and also I know in the real estate, if you work in December, people, traditionally for our team, it's been the second biggest month of the year.
I think to add to that, and it's something that you've always said, and then I stepped back and watched, I think it's because and you've probably noticed this too, there's a lot of agents that just don't. I mean, they just don't do anything.
They don't think, they think, okay, it's the holidays. Nobody wants to buy anything. And yes, are there fewer buyers? I agree with it. But the buyers that are out there are serious.
Yes.
They want to buy a house. They're not.
That's the most important takeaway right there.
Yeah.
If most people are calling you, between Thanksgiving and Christmas, they're sincere. They are seriously wanting. I always joked because typically you would see a massive uptick come January, and then in the whole housing, new construction industry, it's always the week after the Super Bowl. Don't know it's the week after Super Bowl. So we always equated it that they go through Thanksgiving, they go through Christmas, New Year's, maybe it's Super Bowl. They're in other people's homes. They're seeing homes. They realize they don't like their home. And it just spurs this, let's see what's out there. Let's go look. And so you see that activity. Now, you have tax returns, and people know they're getting that. There's other variables that kick in, especially at the end of January, first part of February. But I will say, and I've always said it as well, Charlie, if they're in the market between Thanksgiving and Christmas, they're asking to see home. They are sincere about wanting to make a move. Yes.
Yeah, and they're not looking at paint colors.
No,
they don't not looking for decorating ideas. They're looking to buy a house.
17 degrees outside. I can look online for paint color.
Yeah, exactly. And they're looking to buy a house.
Yes.
Now, if they Candace working with somebody, just put a house pending with them. They came up from Florida.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And we found something the very first day, thankfully. But yeah. Because they were.
I'm just curious on there. Why are they moving from Florida back here?
It's a second home.
A second home here. So they have family or something.
And they're from this. They're from this area.
Okay,
originally.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've had a couple people move due to political issues and taxes and cost of living.
Right.
They've actually moved back into I'll just say the Kentucky market. I've had two just coincidentally. And they were like, yeah, that was fun for about 6 years, but I'm done with living there. And so that's why I asked the question.
Yeah. Yep. That's what their reasoning was.
Yeah.
So now they did say, because they're half the year in Florida and half the year here, they did say they're going to homestead Florida and keep it that way rather than here because it was so much more expensive.
Beneficial and so forth there.
Yeah.
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 I totally get that.
I guess we better talk about our sponsors.
Oh.
Here. Candace, I do not have. Can you look up Bossy Title real quick?
I can.
You can, and it's something. I don't know what I've got into here. Cancel. Anyway, our great sponsors, Churchill Mortgage, as David Crow has been talking about. See how desperate we are for sponsors. We got David. Okay, exactly. No, I'm kidding. But those of you that are listening to GBF all the time, in the Newstalk, Dave Ramsey's on in the morning. He's been talking about Churchill Mortgage for over 25 years.
Oh yeah,
and probably close. We've been saying it for a while. Probably close to 30 now.
It's actually just over 28 years. Dave Ramsey has endorsed Churchill Mortgage on his radio show, podcast, all the stuff. So he is always telling. It's normally around 4 times an hour. He'll say, for all your home loan needs, call my good friends at Churchill Mortgage. So here locally, I'm Churchill Mortgage.
Yep. And so you hear, and they give their 800 number, and that will get you in contact with the people in Brentwood, Tennessee, which is, they'll do a good job, but they have, it's not like, to me, it's not like sitting down with somebody face to face. And that's why David's here. He serves Indiana, Kentucky, and Florida for that matter.
Florida.
Yeah. So, David, you want to give them how can they get a hold of you?
Folks, easiest way always, cell phone, call, text, 270-222-0676. If you go to churchillmortgage.com, you'll see the branch locations technically in Owensboro, Kentucky. Click on it. You'll see the 270-222-0676. Just give me a call, give me a text. Be happy to get you pre-approved for your next new home.
And also, when you're buying that home, the good folks at Bossy Title, Norm and his buddy Phil will be glad to help you. They've have you met Phil, Missy?
I have. Love it.
Cute.
Adorable.
Gosh, but Norm is too.
Norm is.
So,
Yeah.
Norm is the man.
We'll get fired. Norm will fire us if we don't talk about him.
He was pretty upset whenever I first met Phil. I was like, oh, no, I love you too, Norm.
So for those that don't listen all the time, Norm and Phil are Jeff Bossy's dogs. Norm is the CFO, Bossy Title, the chief Frenchie officer, as they're both, it's French Bulldogs, right, Missy?
Yes.
Yeah. They're both French bulldogs. See, any dog questions we can ask Missy. She's going to know. That's not that you're a dog, Mindy. Missy, I didn't mean that.
I completely understood what you meant.
Okay, thank you. But they'll get your home searched where you'll know that you're buying right and you're buying the right home. And any questions, you can call them. And Candace, what is that number?
812-421-4000.
812-421-4000. And Candace also with the Charlie Butler team. You got some listings you want to talk about?
Well, I've got some lots that are coming up on Friday. There are north side lots, really nice lots. 2 of them are lake lots. All of them are
Fieldstone subdivision, which is Dan Buck has developed that.
Mm-hmm. And I have a listing over in Harrison Hills that will be coming up. I believe on Friday. We're going tonight, and we're going to meet with a photographer and kind of go over everything. So, a really cute house, a lot of space. So that one will be coming up too. And
don't you have one in Newburgh that's right now? It's a very nice house
on Spring Corner in Newburgh, and it is a really cute ranch style house. And then I also have a new Rhinebeck listing that I just listed yesterday out in Cambridge, and it's also beautiful.
That's on Brayburn, isn't it?
Yep, on Brayburn.
And that I believe will be. You're hearing this Sunday morning. That'll be open this afternoon.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep. It'll be from 3:30 to 5.
3:30 to 5.
Yep.
And just go in there and see Wenda from our team, and she'll have that open. And since we're talking about the builders, we certainly can't leave Chris Combs out either. No. And we have a home list for Chris on
White Oak Trail.
White Oak Trail. Thank you.
Yep. Yeah.
Since that street runs right beside me, I don't know why I can't ever remember it. But Chris is getting ready. I don't know if I told you or not. Chris is breaking ground on more out there.
Yeah, you did mention that.
And so this is in the Villas at Oak Grove, which is also in Newburgh. Very nice development. In fact, I bought in there, or had one built. But
if you want to TP Charlie, you can get a hold of any of us, and we'll give you the exact location.
Thank you, and thank you, Candace, for that.
You're welcome, Charlie.
I've still got a lot of time to get you, Candace. Candace off the air decided to show my parking job this morning.
True skills.
Mm-hmm.
With the
Z.
he
came in on 3 wheels. I'm convinced, as Missy was
Coming
saying,
in hot.
Yeah, yeah. So I had to.
I may have came in hot, but I was here before you were.
You were here before me, but I did just take up 1 parking spot. So
okay, it's a big parking garage. Okay, I mean, so anything else, Candace, you want to talk about?
No, I can't think of anything right now that we do have a lot of.
And we have a new agent too on the Charlie Butler team.
We do. Wenda.
Wenda and Kathy French.
Oh yeah, Kathy French. I haven't met with Kathy yet.
Yeah, and Kathy's going to be in today.
Mm-hmm.
Kathy French from ERA has joined the Charlie Butler team. We're very happy to have her. And the show is getting ready to go to the dogs.
It is.
And so that's mainly why Missy Mosby was here. I can't beat her up too much about the city council this time. So
well, you can if you want.
The only thing, I'm going to beat you up about the same thing I always do.
I know.
Is a symphonic band.
Yes.
That they pack. I mean, they pack the Central Auditorium and I do not understand why you guys don't help with that.
It's the process, and I think they are going to try to open it up more this upcoming year on applications and looking at different things. So with the new administration, there's a lot of new things and new changes. So you might be very happy this year.
Okay, good, because it is a really good thing.
If not, I'll be in a lot of trouble by you.
But Missy is always open, and in that fact, the things that she doesn't agree with, she'll tell. My 2 favorite local politicians, and one of them is is going to be out here soon, but with Missy and Cheryl Musgrave, because, and not necessarily I always agree with them, but they come on here and tell the truth.
Yes.
I remember Cheryl was on here one time, and I said, so you want to stay? This was when that thing between her and Winnicky was really at a head.
Yes.
And I said, so you want to stay away from that, don't you? I said, I won't ask you anything. She goes, ask me whatever you want.
Exactly.
I don't care.
Yeah.
And so do you have any scandals you want to talk about? Okay. Bobby's saying, you'll stay for next week too, won't you, Missy? So we can talk more, but we're going to just get started. Missy, you were telling us off air that nationally there is really an issue with the shelters.
Yes. We are in a huge crisis right now with an overpopulation of dogs and cats. And what's very sad is, when our shelter, the Evansville Animal Care and Control, gets full, we reach out to local rescues. We ask for people to come in and adopt. We ask for people to come reclaim their animals. But at the end of the day, if the kennels are full, we can't lock our doors and just stop and turn people away. We have to make that terrible decision of euthanization. So luckily in November, I'm proud to say we had so many local rescues step up, pull dogs and cats. We didn't have to euthanize a single dog in
That's
November.
great.
So thank you and kudos to our local partnering rescues, because that's amazing. It's been a very big issue, and it's choices we don't like to make, but unfortunately there's just an overpopulation right now.
So, I mean, I don't know. You mentioned even breeders were turning dogs.
Yes, so I've spoken to some local rescues that have had 7 and 8 month old puppies surrendered to them from breeders because they can't sell them, they can't get them, and then by the time rescues get them, they're 7 or 8 months old, and it's just a huge issue right now. And people, when you're thinking about getting a pet is for life. It's
Right.
for their lifetime. They don't live that long. They're your family member. They're not disposable. And people right now are treating them as disposable items, and that is not what we need to be doing.
The Missy, is there a way that the public can help here as far financially?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for asking. You can actually go to evansville.in.gov, go to animal control. We now have the Spirit Medical Fund donation button there where you can actually donate to help animal control with animals that come in that maybe need a little bit of treatment with health treatment, maybe got hit by a car or something like that. So that funding is there so we can treat them medically. We're also working on some different things. I'm hoping to establish a foundation for Evansville Animal Care and Control that you can donate and could maybe help with reclaim fees. People sometimes lose their dogs and then can't afford to reclaim them. We've got a lot of people that will help pay for an adoption fee. So we are working on several things, but we definitely do need the help of the community. And once again, I cannot thank the rescues around town have been just absolutely amazing to work with. And our animal control workers are awesome. They're just great people.
We, I know animal control, and he probably didn't want to be mentioned on the air, but a well-known local businessman, he put something together which I did contribute, to, and I know several people that
Yes.
did. And but that's an ongoing thing. That money's long gone now.
Yes. Yes, it is.
And so you want to give that again, Missy, that where they can help.
Yes. So it's evansville.in.gov. You go to animal control, and then you'll see a button pop up for Spirit Medical Fund, and it'll say donate. So you can actually make donations to there to help support that. And then I will say, too, all of our local rescues, you can donate to them because they're helping pull animals from the shelters, too. And we need fosters. We need people that will actually take an animal into your house until we can get them adopted. So there's a lot of ways to help. And if you can't do that, share the posts. Yeah. Go out, walk the dogs and cats, make them feel
Right.
some love. So there's a lot of things you can do. If you can't monetarily do it, or if you can't bring another one into your household, there's always ways you can help.
Missy, thank you, and we'll
Thank
pick this up
you.
next week.
That sounds great.
Okay. So, David, one more time, how can they get a hold of
Folks, you want to get pre-approved by a new home, give me a call, give me a text, 270-222-0676.
Candace, now we're talking about your real estate number, not those other side things that you no.
Oh, I knew I was going to get it for that picture.
Not
of
the
car.
OnlyFans, okay?
Oh, God. Now we've moved on from Hooters to OnlyFans. Oh.
He said this show was going to the dogs.
Stay tuned next week because we're going to talk about what I'm talking about here with OnlyFans.
Oh, my gosh.
I bet you can't remember the Charlie Butler team number now.
Well, 812-455-6338 is my cell phone number, and 812-430-1708. Oh, I'm going to kick you out of that chair.
I'm glad I'm on the other side. Charlie Butler, 812-499-7758. So for Candace DeArmond, Missy Mosby, David Crow, this is Charlie Butler. Have a great Sunday.